But as I mentioned in the intro, this show is about economic development, job creation, and talking about our chamber member businesses. And we're thrilled to have a new chamber member business and a new business on the Worcester scene. Welcome, Natalie Rodriguez.
Thank you for having me.
So your business, Nuestra, is a restaurant.
Yep.
A Puerto Rican kind of motif and history and background, but Latino food, and you opened and we couldn't even get in the door.
I know. By the time you got there, it was just like, Tim Murray's outside. We're like, okay, we'll meet him outside.
Well, we had a great ribbon cutting, city officials, neighborhood people, people who love food. It was really on Three Kings Day, which is a big day kind of following Christmas.
Yeah.
So why don't we, the Nuestra, the business is located, the address?
The address is 153 Stafford Street in Worcester, right past Webster Square, but before James Street is how I always tell everybody.
Got it. And, it's funny today when I was coming up to the show, I heard you on the radio. You were on our chamber radio show, and now Emily, who's our director of communication, was interviewing you. And, one of the questions she asked you is, what made you want to get into the food business, and what is kind of the Nuestra, kind of the food that you're offering?
So just what made me get into it is I've always kind of had a love for cooking, and I was in the healthcare field for a long time, and when that was over, I kind of regrouped myself and said, what's the one thing I've always done? Mm-hmm. Hospitality was it. I set myself up with a couple of different jobs and kind of set myself with the right mentors. And then the right opportunity presented itself that there was an available space, and I said, you know what, let's just do this. I want to be my own boss at this point. So
you were doing a little like catering and kind of cooking for other people and kind of growing it, and then you realized, this is something I'm good at, I have a passion for, and let me commercialize.
Yeah, well, when I was in school, to help, make some extra income, I was, doing catering out of my home and selling plates out of my home, and I'd post a menu, and I created my own small following from there. So it was good because by the time I went to open a restaurant, people were like, okay, finally, now I can get this food all the time instead of a few times. So it was the one consistent thing was the food, and I was able to grow a fan base.
Yeah, but it's a big step.
Yes.
I mean, you're signing leases, money, you have to
super
equipment.
Scary.
Yes.
The moment I gave my notice at my full-time job, it was like, okay, I'm giving you guys a month. I think the month was more for me, not for them.
Right.
I've always been just in some type of managerial role for the last 8 years or so, and leaving that to go do my own thing was very scary. So
yeah, well, that's one of the things we enjoy. I mean, there's so many of our members are entrepreneurs who just kind of have the courage to take that step, and not only kind of being their own boss, but ultimately employing people and kind of adding to the vibrancy of the city and
Absolutely.
the neighborhoods. And so the food that you offer, can maybe give you a little description of the menu and how. And we can tell people when they can come get it.
So we have Puerto Rican food. It's not spicy. Everybody always says, is it spicy? People who don't know what Puerto Rican food is, but it's not unless you actually put something in it. But we have, rice and beans and fried plantains, and a big hit that we have at the restaurant now is our empanadillas, which are empanadas or pastelitos. They have different names for them all over the world, but they're basically a turnover filled with a whole bunch of goodies. So. You could do like meat pies, meat and cheese, or we make an in-house guava barbecue sauce. So we're doing Puerto Rican food with a little bit of a flair. We do like a barbecued chicken wing, but it's a guava barbecue, so it's an in-house barbecue sauce that we make. And so we try to do things with a little twist.
And that's one of the things that, when people talk about, the momentum that's underway, the city on the move, the Worcester Renaissance, I mean, I tell people so much of this has been fueled by the foodie and kind of the food offerings, and the diversity of the city kind of fuels that in so many different ways, and the Puerto Rican community large and strong in the city, and this is something that everybody can kind of come and enjoy, and it's kind of led to the early success.
Oh yeah, for sure. We've had all kinds of people come over from all different cultures, or what is this, and we love being able to explain different dishes that we have. All the different menu items, and they're like, oh, what's the yuca nachos? And it's like, okay, it's yuca, and there's cheese, and there's mayo ketchup, and there's chicken, and it's like a whole nacho thing, and they're like, or they see it, and they're like, what's that? I want that one.
Try it.
And it's awesome. But being able to create some of the emotional connections that people have with food was also a big thing that we wanted to be able to do. And from some of the compliments and comments that we've gotten from people so far, we've been able to hit those targets so far. So it's great.
And with the location on Stafford Street, you've tried to create a little island feel to it.
Oh yeah.
In the design of the restaurant.
Yeah, the design from the beginning. You know, I told my contractor, this is what I'm looking for. I want something to feel like outside Puerto Rico. You know, old school, your grandma's house. Because our hashtag Abuela's food, which means grandma's food, is like our one thing. It was our signature thing, and you know, my grandparents are posted up on the walls in the restaurant as well.
So think of that comfort food.
Yes, it's all comfort.
Yeah.
You know, just feeling at home, and you know, we only seat 24, but when the 24 are there, it's, you know, I've had people sit with other people that, you know, just to make seats and stuff, and everybody's fine and just enjoying the food and having a good time.
So January 6th, you know, less than a month and full to the gills. So hours of operation, 11 to 8,
yep.
Tuesday through Saturday?
Tuesday through Saturday, for now.
For now?
For now.
Yeah, and you know, you got to rest a little bit and restock, right?
Yeah, we're trying to restock it. We have people knocking on the door on Sundays and Mondays, so we may end up expanding soon.
So you mentioned when you were kind of just kind of starting and experimenting and doing a little catering, you said, you know, you'd post it up on social media. I mean, are there ways people can look at the menu now, get in touch, order?
Yeah, so our menu right now is on Facebook. We kind of post every other day, every day. We have like a little billboard because the response was so big when we did a soft opening, we were not able to actually do the entire menu that we had. Mm-hmm. So everybody's like, where's your paper menu? And it's like, I'm working on it. So I actually just approved one yesterday. I have to approve the second one because it's 2 different styles. I'm hoping to get that by today, but we also have a website. But I didn't put the website live yet until I have the actual menu up on there.
But we do have it's on Facebook.
Yes.
Nuestra PR Kitchen.
Nuestra PR Kitchen. Yeah.
And then on Instagram.
Just Nuestra with a lowercase n.
Lowercase n.
Yeah.
And Nuestra means.
Nuestra means ours.
Ours.
So the whole background behind that, we were trying to find the name. We knew we had a restaurant. We knew we were going to do this, and it was probably about a month. Probably about 3 weeks before we figured out the final name, and it was like people just giving us names. All like my mom would. I mean, we had lists and looking online, and by the time we figured out exactly what to name it, Nuestra came up, and it was ours, and it was like, this is awesome because what we wanted this restaurant to be was for the people. Mm-hmm. So Nuestra is ours. It means ours. It's for our city. It's our island. It's our culture. It's our food, and it was to share with the people. So Nuestra for me is important because it means like for the whole city.
Yeah.
So.
No, I always love to ask, you know, I remember business owners,
Yeah.
you know, oftentimes how and why they pick a name, because it's usually, you know, pretty significant. And you mentioned ours, but you know, at the ribbon cutting and the opening that night, when you literally couldn't get in the door and there were lines outside, it was clearly a family event for you. And you know, why don't you talk about what that's like? I mean, it sounds like there's a kind of a family tradition of cooking and gathering.
Yeah, there's, I mean, I just have an amazing support system. I have, you know, friends who are more to me than family than some of my own family, and it's just amazing to have, you know, these awesome, you know, friends and family that have been stepped up and really like promoted and just shared. And, you know, they were getting there at 5 o'clock and it was like, okay, I'm here. I'm like, all right. They were with their shirt because with Christmas time, everybody, at Christmas, anybody was at the house at Christmas, everybody got a Nuestra shirt. So
you got one on?
I got mine on, yeah. I always wear it.
And so there's an island feel to that, but the logo, there's aspects of the Puerto Rican flag, but also the Tainos.
Yes, the Taino Indian. It's a son from the Taino Indians. It was, I mean, this probably took like 40 revisions to actually do by the time we got it done. But we got it done, and, you know, our friends and family, they put them on, and they were like, what do you want to do? I'm like, go to the back. And there was just literally, we had teams of people serving food.
And the Tainos Indians indigenous to Puerto Rico?
Yeah, the Taino Indians are indigenous to Puerto Rico.
All right. Well, I mean, a lot of history and culture and food
Absolutely.
And thought, you know, that's gone into this. And,
a lot of thought.
Yeah. Is it just you working there full time? You got some employees?
We have a few employees now. I want to say there's about 4 or 5. It's kind of like all over the place. We're trying to figure out the logistics of it right now, but we definitely, you know, are able to employ at least, I think it's actually might be 5 or 6.
Right.
Off the top of my head that I could think of right now.
Trying to figure the rhythms.
The kids go there. My kids get there, and they're you know, wiping down tables. And my boyfriend, he says he's a volunteer worker, so me too at that point. But my mom comes down. She'll come and she'll help on, you know, the weekends and stuff. She's basically like another owner. She's there so much. But it's, you know,
But we're going to end on a fun note. But just in terms of everything, I mean, the biggest challenge in doing it all, now that you're open and running, you look back. Just was it making the decision? Were there just the kind of the process permitting all you had to go through? What was would you say the biggest kind of challenge that you had to get there?
I would say the biggest challenge would be just making sure that you were organized. And I'm probably the most organized person that I know.
Yeah.
So I think being organized and knowing what you had to do, and I was able to print out like different checklists from different restaurant guides, like opening checklists. And so I was like, all right, this checklist is not necessary for me. So I literally had 3 of them, and I would cross off and dot on my I's and T's. It's definitely difficult to open a restaurant in the city without knowing exactly what to do. And I've mentioned this before, and I hope to maybe at some point later on in the future have help the city, help new businesses, be able to have some kind of template, because there's things that I didn't know that I wish that I did, that somebody was able to guide me towards these things, such as like getting an entertainment license to play music or so things like that, which hopefully in the future when I have a little bit extra time I can help out.
No, good. Well, that's great feedback, because when we're engaging with the city too, we try to share with them some of the feedback from our members too. But most importantly, it seems like you're having fun. You're off to a great start. And again, we want to, our viewers, Worcester, Central Massachusetts, food scene that is growing, and this Nuestra is authentic, real, and big part of Worcester. So get over to Stafford Street. What the address again?
153 Stafford Street.
153 Stafford Street. The menu is on Facebook, Nuestra PR Kitchen.
Yep.
A website coming soon. Do we know what the?
It's going to be NuestraWorcester.com, which is ourworcester.com.
NuestraWorcester.com. Well, Natalie, congrats, and we look forward to having you back.
Thank you so much.
Being over soon for food.
Yes, absolutely.